Woohoo! Hello, hello, hello. Trying to get this Instagram going. There we go. Oh gosh, come on. Get over here. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Okay, there we are. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Hey, Danny, how's it going? Woo! I had to close the store. Sorry, you guys. I had to run up here real quick. I was talking to a customer. Had me pushing today. I guess you guys. Hey, Danny, if you have a question, just jump in. Appreciate it. Congratulations too on everything that you're having. Hey, Mrs. Taylor, how are you? All right, you guys get in here. Oh gosh, let me grab some water. I've just been running. Oh gosh, let's see. Let me turn this off. Notifications. Yeah, there we go. Yes, if you guys have any questions, write them down now because we're going to talk about them. If you guys saw the post, I think it was like New Year's resolution. How are you going to keep it? I know it's a weird title, but it's just something that I want to say. I want to share. Can you guys see me on Instagram? What is this? Oh, shoot. Hold on. Okay, let's see. What is that? Okay, yeah. Can you guys see me on Instagram? Can you type a yes for me? Just so I know, I just want to make sure. Let's see. Danny, if you can type yes. Mrs. Taylor, one of you guys. Let's see. Hold on. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, okay, good. We see you. All right. Okay, you guys, we're just giving them a minute to come in. I'm going to have to put some kind of introduction thing up here. Well, just so you know, this is the last week. I'm doing tonight and tomorrow. Then I'm going to go to Atlanta. I'm going to go to Atlanta to be with my wife for Christmas Eve all the way through New Year's Eve. Then we come back. We're going to start the, what I'm calling the challenge, the total body reset. And can you guys hear me? That's what I meant to ask. Can you see me, but can you hear me as well? It looks like that's like it's a sound thing. Can you hear me as well? Yes, yes. Can you hear me? This is all new stuff. Yes. Oh, great. Woo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Excuse me while I take a sip. You guys have any questions? Hey, love. Glad to see you here. Well, tonight's topic, thank you. Yes. New Year's resolutions. Do you keep them? Do you keep them? Don't you keep them? Why don't you keep them? You ever ask yourself that? I mean, you can say within yourself, you say to yourself, and you may say to your friends and family, I'm going to do this next year. This is my New Year's resolution. I'm going to stick to this. And a week or two in, it's all done and over. What is that? What causes that? Because you were supposed to be resolute. That's what a resolution is. You're supposed to be resolute in making that commitment to what you say you're going to do with your life. I mean, listen, it can be, I want to lose weight. I want to get a new job. I want to make more money. I want to cultivate a new relationship. I want to move. I want to buy a house. I want to buy a car. I want to go on a nice vacation. So I want to save up for it. I want to go out of the country, not just to like the Bahamas or Jamaica, like most people do, but I'm going to go to Africa or Europe or Asia. We want to go literally out of the country, not just like to Cabo or Mazatlan or something like that. You really want to take a real vacation. Believe it or not, the people in Europe, they call it holiday. They literally go for a month or two. We need to catch up here in the United States. We get a week or two vacation from our jobs. Can you imagine working a year and get a week off? I don't even know what that is. And, most of you know that I was on the fire department for 32 years. And we only worked 10 days a month, as that is, but there were 10 24-hour shifts. But I remember I took off 2 months one time. I saved my days and banked some days and put my holidays together and took 2 months off. Matter of fact, first time I went to Italy, I've been there 5 times. First time I went to Italy, I stayed for a month. Who gets to do that? And I was still on the job. And I had a business. It's a great thing. I tell people, look into it. The fire department, Danny, it's one of the best part-time jobs on the planet. That's my thing on it. But back to the subject. New Year's resolution. Do you keep them? You know what? I like to hear an answer. I wanted this to be interactive tonight. Let's do a little different thing. Since tonight and tomorrow night is my last night for this year of 2023, I'm going to just make this a little more interactive. So when I start again in the new year, it may just be a couple of days a week, and we may keep it shorter, and we'll do more interaction. Maybe we'll pull people up so we can be on the screen together, and then they can ask questions, and we can see what the answers are, and you can see how it relates to you or to someone in your family, a loved one. So that's what we're going to do. So is anyone here that's online right now, has any of you, somebody say most times not, huh? Oh, all right, John says yes. Well, see, John may know some secrets that some of us don't know, but that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about these secrets. Anyway, I don't want to be long tonight. I know you guys are getting ready for this new season that's coming up. Christmas is coming up. And as we approach the end of the week, it kind of just happens. As soon as we hit Friday, it's going to be Saturday, Sunday, and it's like, bam, now we're in it. And then that following week, we just run right into New Year's Eve. So think about it. Maybe most of you maybe you pigged out, or maybe you didn't, but you had a Halloween party and you ate and had fun and drank and had candy or did this or that or whatever else. And that just rolls you right into Thanksgiving. And then you had that Thanksgiving meal and that Thanksgiving dinner. And if you had a big turkey, you may have a leftover turkey sandwiches for the following week, or turkey soup or whatever you did. And that just segued right into Christmas, and you're going to pig out, hopefully not. But you're going to get that in and go through Christmas and then have leftovers after Christmas, which segues you right into the new year. And then you go into the new year and you pig out and you do all that stuff and you have the party and, whatever you do. Hopefully you do things more healthfully this year. But then you go right into the new year and says, you know what, I did too much. This last couple of months, I did too much. I'm going to start a resolution. I'm going to lose weight. I'm just going to get fit. I'm going to cut some relationships. You remember I always say relationships either add to you or subtract from you. They either multiply you or divide you. And some of you probably remember this: the greatest source of pain and pleasure on the planet. No, listen up tight. The greatest source of pain and pleasure on the planet are relationships. They are. When they're good, they're great. They're oceanic. I mean, it just feels like, this oxytocin is just swallowing you up. The best thing in the world. I was just talking to someone before I ran up here. But then if it goes awry, if it goes awkward, if it goes left on you, it's like, It's like you feel like you just lost a kidney or a leg or whatever else. But that's okay. Take that L and turn it into a lesson, if you will. But the thing is, Christmas time and New Year's time, that's when we feel more lonely or feel more vulnerable. If we're not in a relationship, we take it to heart. And maybe that plays in on the resolutions. We say, well, some resolutions is I'm not going to date anymore. Or, we even have a resolution, I'm getting divorced this year. Or I'm getting married this year. I know, this is humanity, right? Or I'm going to move this year. And we really kind of put it off and say, well, when this happens, when I move, I'm going to start living. That's why it's my resolution. As soon as I graduate, I'm going to start living. As soon as I get married, I'm going to start living. As soon as I get divorced, I'm going to start living. As soon as I lose this weight, I'm going to start living. As soon as I buy this new car, I'm going to start living. As soon as I get out of this apartment, as soon as something happens, then you're going to start living, which implies not even just to your conscious mind, to your subconscious mind and to your body, your cells, tissues, and organs, that your living is somewhere in the future, someplace in time and space that does not exist. No, the future doesn't exist. And neither does the past. And sometimes things in the past that happened that were so-called horrible can make you apprehensive of the future, and neither one of them exist in time and space. And all we have is now, literally this 0 to 5 seconds. And so we have to live in the 0 to 5 seconds. So when you create a resolution, if you will, where you want to go, what you want to have, what you want to do, who you want to be, because you have to be that person that can sustain that resolution. And when you become that person who can sustain that resolution, then you can do what that person does and you can have what that person has. And that person is you. And the thing is, if you look at it, hopefully what I'm going to tell you tonight, you'll kind of understand why you don't keep it. Because you have everything you need to keep it. Because you've done things, you learned how to read, you learned how to write, you learned how to drive a car, you learned how to walk. I mean, you learned so many things, and they may not have been talked about as a resolution, but you just did them because that's what the culture demanded of you. Your parents may have demanded something of you, and so you accomplished it. But this is something that you want to do. Well, first off, this is what I'm going to say about resolutions. You have to really want it. You can't just mentally assent to it. You can't just talk about, oh, I love to do this. Like I said one time, oh, I really love Spanish. It's such a romantic language. It really flows. You know, I want to go to Mexico and be able to speak fluently and have this exchange back and forth. But you don't have any Spanish friends, no Spanish radio you listen to, no Spanish books. You don't do anything with Spanish, but yet you really want to learn Spanish. So what do I say to that? The proof of desire is in pursuit. The proof of desire is in pursuit. If you are not in pursuit of something, you don't want to do it. I don't care how much you language it. I don't care how much you tell yourself. I don't care how much you tell your friends. I don't care how much you tell your family. Look at what you're doing. What you're doing is an evident token of what you're thinking, feeling, and believing. Your life always demonstrates who you really are. You literally have to become someone else to do something different. But what I'm going to explain to you is that first thing is to be clear about what you want. And you have to really want it. My thing is, because I talk about the physical body, I want you to want it in your cells, tissues, and organs. I know that's kind of a funny way of saying it, but I want you to want it so bad that you're willing to cut everything off. I remember when I got on the fire department, I was like, my friends were going out and doing this. I said, no, I'm not going. Oh, well, we're just going to go around the corner. No, I'm not going. I just studied. I was studying this book to take the test because it had all this reading comprehension and this math. And of course, it had a physical ability test and a psychological test and a medical. We had all of these things going to go on that I knew I had to be able to pass. And so literally, I cut everyone off. I didn't want to cut them off. I just put them off. I put them on the shelf. Let's say that. That's a better euphemism, better word. But I put everyone on the shelf because I needed this space to become the person I needed to be to make it to the job, because there were 10,000 people taking the written exam. 10,000 people taking the written exam. Then they have the written exam. Then they have the medical, the background, the physical ability test, the personality test. After all of those people went through all of those tests, 44 people went into training. 44 people went to the drill tower. That's like the police academy for police. We call it the drill tower. 44 people went into the drill tower. 12 weeks later, 23 graduated. What does that tell you? Yes, you had to be focused. You know what we say about focus? Follow one course until you succeed. Follow one course until you succeed. That's what focus is about. But the first thing I'm going to tell you is know that you really want it. That's the key. And I mean, I can try to make some kind of analogies with this, but no. I wanted the fire department. I wanted the job. And I never thought about it before. I didn't grow up saying, oh, I want to be a firefighter. No, not at all. I just wanted a good job. And when I found out they only worked 10 days a month, 10 24-hour shifts, and we still had holidays and sick days and days that we can trade and vacation days. And that's why I was able to take off 2 months while still being on the job. So when I did 32 years, I mean, it was the greatest thing in the world. It felt like I only worked 11 years. So we process time in an entirely different way. That's why I say time is a construct. But when you're doing what you love, time goes by. But if you do what you hate, and so you may have a job that you dislike, it seems like it might go longer. But if you make the plan and you know that you really want it, then you can use the job that you're on to get to where you want to go. And if you have any questions while I'm doing this, guys, just jump in there. But this is what I'm getting to. There's a scripture in Genesis. I think it's Genesis 1:11. And it's God speaking. And God says, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself. Whose seed is in itself. Whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. And so I thought about that. I was like, what is this? Whose seed is in itself? And some of you may remember, if you take an apple seed and plant an apple seed, put it in the ground, it will literally grow into an apple tree with lots of apples, with lots of seeds. So everything that the apple tree was to become was in the seed. Now, any one of us, we can cut open that apple seed, look for the blueprint and schematic for an apple tree, and we will not see anything. Nothing at all. But everything an apple tree is to become was already in the apple seed. Take a peach seed. Everything that a peach tree is to become is in the peach seed. Everything. Another tree with lots of peaches, with lots of seeds. Everything that an oak, now you guys know how large an oak is. I mean, best wood for a fireplace and this and that, and how much shade it gives and how sturdy it is and how strong it is. I mean, and how long it lives. But everything an oak is to become is in the acorn, a small little acorn. So what is that saying? How does that relate to us and to resolutions? This is what I want you to get, you guys. Everything that you are to become is already within you. No, really, I want you to get that. Get that in your cells, tissues, and organs. You'll hear me saying that all the time. Get it in your nervous system. Get it encoded into your nervous system. Make it part of who you are. That's why you literally have to become someone else. You have to know and understand and be clear with the plan. But as soon as you're clear with the plan, you have to know and understand you have everything within you to get that, to get the plan that you're seeking, to get the objective that you set before you. Yeah, you have to follow the one course until you succeed, but how do you get there? Well, this is my thing. This is what I learned from a coach, Al Hollingsworth, years ago. He said there's only 4 reasons, more or less, why you cannot keep any desire that you want, any goal that you have. Because you need to create a plan, focus on the plan, create a plan and stick to the plan. You got to stick to it. So that's where that stuff within you comes from. So create the plan, stick to the plan, don't lose focus, and don't move too slow. Now you say like, well, wait a minute. I had a plan and I must, no. The reason why you failed is because you didn't create a plan. Now you might have mentally agreed to wanting to do something or to reach a goal, but was it a real plan? No, a plan is something you write down on paper. You take this step and then here's the next step and here's the next step and here's the next step. This is the plan. So we want to go to Disneyland. So we get in the car and, we pick up the GPS or whatever and see, okay, we got to take this freeway over here. Then we get on that freeway. Then we get to this freeway. We get to that freeway. And that's how we get there. So that's the plan. Now, sticking to the plan, you may run into traffic somewhere out there, but that doesn't take you off your plan. You might have to bypass something. You may have to get off the freeway, take some other loop around, take some major street, follow up, get back on the freeway and follow the plan. See, most of us make plans and we don't stick to the plan. And maybe the plan it didn't give us enough weight. How much does the plan weigh to you? How strong is that plan? How bad do you want that plan? Do you want it more than any of this other stuff around you? It's just like a person saying, they want to speak Spanish, but they're not doing anything. No, they don't want it. But they open their mouths and say, I want to learn Spanish. No, what are you doing? Get it in your nervous system. So this is what I think. This is the one plan that I had in my mind. Say, let's all take a trip, if you guys will. Let's do this. Take a trip with me. What if I said, you know what, you guys, let's ride bikes to New York. You're like 3,500 miles away from LA. Let's ride bikes to New York. Well, wouldn't that be nice? Let's take 6 months to get to New York. And so we map it out. Okay, let's say it's 3,500 miles and we go each day for 6 months. Got the plan. All we need to do is go 20 miles a day. So we got the plan. So we ride our bikes. He said, we got the plan. We know the route that we're going to take. That's part of the plan. knowing where it's going to rain, knowing where we need to stop, knowing the hotels that we're going to stay in. And I love that my wife, when I was driving to Chicago, she literally mapped out a plan for me. Where to go, what to see even on the way there. I mean, that made an intricate plan. What hotels I can stay at, where I can get gas. I mean, think about it. If you're in a Tesla or electric car, you better have a plan. You better know where you're going to go. That's why I'm not ready for that. If anything, give me a hybrid. But yeah, you got to know where these stations are where you can plug back in, because I tell you, you don't want to be out on a dark highway without energy in your car. No, that's another story. But the thing is, so she mapped out this plan for me, and it was so intricate, it just made it clear about really making the plans. Plans are not just, I want to go here, and that's it. So you know where you are, and you know where you want to go, and you just say, I want to go there. That's not a plan. That's a goal. But a plan is, how do you get to that goal? And that's what my wife mapped out for me. So what I'm telling you is, we're going to take this trip and go to New York, but we're going to give ourselves 6 months to get there. And so if we do the calculations, we divide 6 months into 3,500 miles. I'm just estimating. This is a metaphor. We have to go 20 miles a day. And we know what hotels we're going to stay at. We know what we want to see on the way. And we do that. So we take off. We ride 20 miles a day, 20 miles a day, next day, next day. So now we're out a month and a half. We've been going well. We've covered some ground. We've seen so many different sites. And every city that we go to, we stop, we explore the city. We learn some of the history. We learn things about it. We learn the culture. We learn the language or whatever it is. If there's anything interesting, we'll check it out, because once we got there, we have the rest of the day to enjoy it. We go to a nice dinner and we stay in a nice hotel. We store our bikes and everything. We get a good night's sleep, get back on our bikes, and we take off again. And now we go. Now this time, one of the participants, one of your bikes breaks down. So now everyone has to stop, because we're going as a team. And that's part of the plan. Think about that. Wherever you're going, you need people to help you get to where you are. No man is an island. It takes a village to raise a child. And my contention is, it takes a village to raise an adult. We all need support. We all need community. That's why I'm here tonight. But so someone's bike breaks down. So we lose a day. We take the bike to the bike shop. They fix the bike. We lose a day. Now we're supposed to go 20 miles a day. So what do? Do we all go 40 miles the next day? Do we do that? But we know the capabilities of the people that we're with. And we say, no, listen, why don't we just go 25 miles today, 25 miles the next, another 25 miles, and another 25 miles. We're still on course. We're still following the plan. We're still covering the time. We're still covering the distance. You see what I mean? And we still know where we're going. That's having a plan and sticking to the plan. No matter what obstacles come up, no matter what detours, no matter what hurdles, no matter what encumbrances, anything that tries to block you from where you're going, if you really want it, you know that's going to happen. A hurdler doesn't run up to a hurdle and stop and say, "What? Who put this in my way? I'm trying to get around the track." No, he knows there are going to be some obstacles. So he finds the most efficient, effective, and economical way to negotiate that hurdle. And when you create a plan, there are going to be obstacles. There are going to be setbacks. There are going to be things that try to stop you from getting where you're going. You need to take that discouragement or whatever it is, hopefully it's not that, and say, oh, there's another way around. And let's go. And let's take that way around. So just like we go on and we kept doing that, and we drive and we ride our bikes, and we get to, another 4 months. So now we got 5.5 months, and then it breaks down. We do the same thing. We just follow along and get there. So now you can see the plan, and you can see how you can stick to the plan. Now, what if we had the plan, stuck to the plan, but we lost focus? Somebody got and said, oh gosh, I want to see this place. I want to see this place in Atlanta called Garden of the Gods, because these big rock formations have been around forever. So you want to go see them. And so now you ride the bikes over there. And now it's like, well, let's take most of the day. We have a time schedule that we have to keep. So in the middle of the plan, in the middle of following the plan, in the middle of knowing what hotels you're going to rest at and what things we're going to see, you have to realize how much time you have. So there's time in it. Like we said, we want to get there in 6 months. So you have to regulate the time as well. You see how intricate planning is becoming? It's not just setting a goal and taking off willy-nilly. There's no preparation. So to have a plan, you have to create the plan. You have to have preparation for the plan. You have to plan it out. That will help you stick to the plan. And now remember, you can't lose focus, because you can get out there and you just see something that's super attractive, or someone in the group says, oh gosh, my relative lives here. Let's just stay here overnight and stay 2 days and whatever, and says, yeah, but we already lost the day and we don't want to lose another one. What if we lose another 2 or 3 days on the way? So now you see how time comes into play. So you don't lose focus, and you keep going. You got the plan, you stuck to the plan. Don't lose focus. Don't let some of your relationships pull you out. How many people let a relationship pull them out of a plan? You know, I've met so many people here in LA. I mean, you know, I've gone to parties, you know, for different reasons or whatever. And, you know, someone will be here and I might be talking to someone. I'll talk to a female and say, where, you're from what? You're from Maryland? I was like, what, they have Black people in Maryland? You know, I go like, well, yeah. I said, well, how did you get to LA? Oh, boyfriend. Did they really want to come to LA? Did they really have a plan in Maryland? And then some relationship took them out of that plan? If it did, I call that losing focus. And again, you guys know how important relationships, the greatest source of pain and pleasure on the planet are relationships. But the thing is, a relationship cannot take you off your plan. That relationship needs to hold up your plan, needs to secure your plan, needs to take you and assist you along that plan. What I always say about relationships, they either add to you or subtract from you, or they either multiply you or divide you. I know, who would have thought that in your planning? But I'm trying to give you a clear picture of having a plan, sticking to the plan, not losing focus. You can't move too slow. That's the time. I'm sure, you know, people say, well, I'm waiting for my boat to come in. You better swim out to your boat. If you know what your plan is, you know where you want to go, you know who's doing what you want to do, why not cultivate a relationship with that person? No, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but cultivate a relationship with that person to see what it takes to get there. Maybe they can figure out some expediency. You know, what is the most effective, efficient, and economical way of getting to where you want to go? Now, there may be even shortcuts that we didn't think about to get to New York. But if you see those and you're running somebody, and so if you have the group, say we have the whole group that we're all here right now. Hey, who's ever been to New York? Who's ever driven to New York? Who knows any shortcuts, any highways we can take? Some of the group would know. So you would get there even more efficiently. You would get there even before the 6 months. But that's what I'm saying. Stick to the plan. Keep the plan. Create the plan. Make the plan clear. Make it clear. Make it clear in your head. You ought to be able to articulate it to someone in one sentence what the plan is. And you got all the preparation. Show me your plan. Show me where you're going. Show me how you're going to get there. Sometimes we don't want to do that because that takes effort. But that effort is an evident token of how much you really want the plan. So map out the plan. Map it out. Just like literally, it's as simple as that. Map it out. Map out where you want to go. Find the most efficient, economical, and effective way of getting there. Lay that out. Be clear in it. And know that things are going to try to obstruct you from getting there. Know that ahead of time. And that's okay, because now you're prepped for going in. The one thing on the fire department is, like, you know, fighting fires is an awesome thing. But in training, of course, we were secure. But they go into the basement. They put these pallets in there. They pour gasoline all over the pallets. And then they torch them off. I mean, this is hot as all get out in there. And so we got to go in there with our turnout boots, our turnout coat, our helmet, our breathing apparatus. We're going with all of this stuff in, and they tell you, I don't care what happens. I don't care how hot it gets, how black the smoke is where you can't see in front of your face. Do not take the mask off your face. And we have 30 minutes of oxygen in our tank, and we can be in there longer. If your bell starts ringing on your tank, don't panic. You got 3 minutes of air left. Now you can go in and take your time. If you have to buddy breathe, and so when your bell goes off and you don't have enough time to get out, you unloosen your hose from your bottle, tap someone on the shoulder, let them know that you want to buddy breathe, give them the hose, and then they'll attach it to their face piece. Now both of you are breathing off of their bottle. But see, that's having a plan before they light the fire, before they pour the gasoline on, before we go in there. We already know how black and how hot it's going to get. And so they're telling you now, this is going to happen. Expect it to happen. Everybody that's gone through the drill tower prior to you getting here over the years of the fire department have gone through the exact same thing. So that's preparation for when we get into the real world. Now we go in there and we get a real fire, and it's like, now there's nothing, there's safety stuff around. But you know what happened? They said, don't take the mask off. Well, one of these guys, we were in there drilling one day. They torched it off, light the gasoline, did all this, hot as all get out, black smoke, you can't see in front of your face. It's literally this feeling of disorientation. I mean, you're in a place you've never been in before. It's black. You don't know left from right, east and west, up or down. You don't know where you are now. But then they go behind this guy and turn his bottle off. They just go right behind him. He doesn't know. They just turn it off, and all of a sudden, he has no oxygen left. Now, what is the guy supposed to do? He's supposed to undo his hose, tap a guy, the next guy, whatever, feel for the next guy, feel him, tap him on the shoulder. Now, this guy knows he's going to have to buddy breathe. As soon as he taps on the shoulder, okay, bam, give him the hose, hook up to the hose to his face piece, and they both breathe. He didn't stick to the plan. He did not stick to the plan. Guess what he did? I'm sure you can. He turned around, pulled his mask off, and ran up the stairs, bust open the door. And of course, he had smoke inhalation. That's why you never pull your mask off. Never, never, never. I don't care what happens. I mean, if anything, he could have took the hose off and stuck it in his turnout coat, stuck it in a little pocket and zipped it up. Then he could have breathed through that filter that's in the jacket. Just breathe through that material. At least it won't be straight up smoke inhalation. Nope. He panics. He didn't have a plan, because it could have happened. They told us. He didn't stick to the plan. When the air runs out, as soon as you take that first thing, he lost focus. So, he wasn't going to move too slow. He ran out of there, took his mask off, ran up the stairs, got out of there, breathing everything in. Do you think he made it through the drill tower? Do you think he graduated and got on the fire department? Lost the goal. He went through all of those 10,000 people, took all of the tests, the written, the medical, the physical, the background, the personality test. Like 44 people get in. He gets into the drill tower. You know how elite that is? And he's one of the ones that left to get down to just 23 people. Why? I want you to get clear. Look at the places in your life where you didn't have a plan, or you did, but you didn't stick to the plan, or you thought you were sticking to it, but somewhere along the line, because of some incident, it could have been a death in the family. Things happen, things go on, but you still need to be who you need to be. Didn't stick to the plan, lost focus. That's it. That's the only way. So the guy, of course, he got kicked out, and then other guys got kicked out. Same thing. They went through the same reason. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do the work. Got kicked out, and now here we are, these 23 people graduate, but now we got to go through a whole year of probation to see if everything that you got, you can remember over a year's time, where you're getting this real life experience now. Because I went to a busy station. I happened to go to Hollywood, the biggest fire station this side of the Mississippi. So I got brush fires, single family dwelling fires, high rise fires, big commercial building fires, car fires, anything you can name of, I got in Hollywood. Yeah, the Hollywood Hills, the Griffith Park Hills. Literally, we got everything there. And I talked to a friend of mine months later, and I said, what kind of fires you getting? He said, well, I've been here 3 months and I got a car fire. That's not good, but that's where he was. But you still got to study and do the things. I like to see, it's determination. But the word I like to use over all of this time in my experience is consistency. To me, and consistency encapsulates all of this, because you can run into a thing, and it's really sort of like the total body reset. It's taking you through something slowly. It's 10 minutes. You don't think like how you can really get in shape in just 10 minutes a day. It's because I want to start you where you are. Start you where you can do it. Just go through the motions. I want it to be so easy, so innocuous. After you're done, you say, that was nothing. That was easy. No big deal. I just want you to get the muscles firing again. Get them ignited. Get them doing what they're supposed to do, what they were made to do, and then build up from there. But you guys, I'm telling you, I'm just looking to see if you have any questions. Yeah, you have to know you really want it. Yes, Genesis 1:11. So if you have any questions, jump in. So do you guys understand? Give me a yes. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Is it making any sense to you? Do you think it's something else that throws you off your plan? Do you think it's something else that keeps you from your resolution? Like I said, the first thing, you have to be resolute. This is before you even have a plan. So this is a starting point. Number one is be resolute about what you want. You have to want it so bad. Like this one guy gave a metaphor years ago. He said, "Oh, I want this." He said, "Oh, yeah, you want it? I want this." "Yeah, I really want it." "So you sure?" "Yeah, I want it." So he grabbed the guy by the head and pushed his head underwater. And just kept him under there. And the guy is struggling and struggling. He kept him under there and struggling. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And all of a sudden, boom, he pulled the guy up. He said, when you want it like you want that next breath, you'll get what you want. Yeah, you have to want it. It's desire. It's your level of desire that's going to have you stick to the plan, not lose focus, and not move too slow. Because if your level of desire is low, oh, the next step can knock you out. That's exactly how it is. Think of this as far as how personalities are concerned. You know how they train an elephant, right? So what they do with an elephant is when he's young, they'll put a chain around his ankle and they'll literally bolt it into cement. So the elephant pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls. After a week or so, he pulls and he realizes he cannot get away. He's clear about it. He knows he can't get away. And now he's as big as this room here, and they put a little rope around his leg and they stake it into the grass. And I always ask, can the elephant get away? No, really, can he get away? And you, I'm sure, would probably say yes. But will he get away? No. Why? Because he thinks he cannot get away. And he learned it in his youth. And I always say we can have earthquakes in our youth that create these aftershocks in our adulthood. And some of these aftershocks will keep us away from our goals. And so that's why it's so important to have the desire and stick to it and say, okay, I'm not letting anything pull me away from this. But no, the elephant really has a rope around his neck. Now, what if his friends came up to him and said, Charlie, it's just a rope. You can really pull your leg up. You can get away from there. And he's like, no, leave me alone. I know I can't get away. I've tried to pull for years when I was young, and I couldn't get away. See how we exaggerate? He tried to pull his way away for years. It was just a week. But this is what we do. Like I said, the world we live in is wrapped up in the convolutions of our brain. Our personality is our personal reality. How we see things is how they exist. We negotiate life according to how we say it is. And now we can embellish that. We can take that and say, oh no, I tried to get away from a year and couldn't get away. Leave me alone. Says, no, Charlie, you can get away. See, Bob over here, he sneezed. And when he sneezed, his leg came up. And that's how he realized he can get away. And so Bob told us. And so we did the same thing and came over. And now we came to tell you can get away. I don't care. Leave me alone. See how your friends can try to take you somewhere and lead you out? But because you're so clear in your head that you're right, you're already always listening because you already heard yourself say you can't get away. So anyone coming and saying something else, you can't even hear it. Just goes in one ear and out the other. They don't know what they're talking about. But they're free. They're in front of him. His friends, these other elephants, are in front of him. But his emotions take over his logic. Wait a minute. He can't get away because he pulled for a year, and that's how he's sure he can't get away. But his friends are in front of him, not anchored to the rope that they had around their ankle. I mean, wouldn't you think like, well, shoot, I couldn't get away, but Bob, you're free, and John, you're free, and Alex, you're free. And it's like, maybe it's something I'm missing. Maybe it's something I'm not seeing. Maybe it's something I haven't heard. Maybe it's something I didn't get because they are in front of me. Oh, okay, guys, wait a minute. Tell me, what did you do? We don't do it. Our emotions overwhelm us. Our emotions, to the contrary, just literally become oceanic, and we can't hear any logic from any of our friends. And some of the friends can say, okay, look, just do it for me out of relationship. Just close your eyes and lift your leg. That's it. If you just do that, and we'll try to talk our friends into stuff. And people always say, if you know better, you do better. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Just because you know better don't make you do better. Oh, we all know better. How do you lose weight? Everybody out here knows how to lose weight. Everybody knows how to lose weight. And maybe they don't. Maybe that can be your New Year's resolution. And you can know how. And maybe you tried years before and haven't lost. But again, I don't even want to say Donald Trump, if some billionaire, okay, let's say Jay-Z wrote $100 million check for you to lose weight, say let's this by June of 2024, he'll give you $1 million check with your name on it. And you may not have lost this weight in years, but in 6 months from now, in June 2024, here's a $100 million check. Could you lose the weight? You know what you do? You do whatever. You lock your mouth up. You do whatever else is you need to do, if that's your motivation. So the bottom line, it really comes down to motivation. What's your desire? What's your motive? Is your motive over and beyond anything else that's in your surroundings? Now, remember the guy, the elephant, trying to tell his friends that he can get away? He didn't get away. That's how some of us live. That's our consciousness. That's the consciousness that we live in. And that's why we don't make it. And we do it over again. I'm trying to give you some idea to how to make it. But then, you know how they catch monkeys? They do this gourd, they'll drill a little hole just big enough for the monkey to stick his hand through. But they'll put a ball in there, or an orange or an apple like that. And so the monkey will stick his hand in, bam, once he grabs it, that's it. He's a goner, because he grabs it and he sticks, and now the guy comes from behind the tree, the trapper, and he just comes up, and now he sees him coming, like, ah, 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 ah. All he's got to do is to let go. Just let go. But now he's so emotional, he's holding on to it. Let go. Just no. He's so emotional, he's going to hold on even tighter. And the trapper knows that. That's why he set up the trap. So he comes over, puts the burlap sack over his head, cinches it up, pulls his hand out, ties him to the tree, and waits for the next monkey. Who's the next monkey? See? With the elephant is what was holding you back. What's holding you back? What's holding you back from your past that won't let you move forward, that won't let you move ahead? What is it? You think about it. I don't know what it is. This is all an individual thing. That's why the Bible says, keep your imagination with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. The issues of your life come out of your own imagination. You're just like the guy with the elephant. He was imagining that he couldn't get away, because we know he could have got away. And he imagined himself not being able to get away in front of all of his friends who was giving him information contrary to what he thought and felt and believed. But his consciousness, his imagination overrode everything they said to him. And the monkey thinks that he's holding on. Okay, so what's holding you back? What are you holding on to? What are you holding on to your past that won't allow you to keep your resolution or move forward? You think about it. You write it down. Because this is an important thing, because you'll do the exact same thing over and over and over again until you raise your level of awareness, you raise your level of consciousness, until you get clear. You need to become someone else, because the person you've been has not kept their resolution. So you need to become someone else that keeps their resolution. And the way you can do that is having a plan, sticking to the plan, not losing focus, and not moving too slow. I remember I was talking about fish. You can have a fish in an aquarium, say it's 5 feet long, 5 feet wide, and they swim around in this aquarium, and they swim, and they swim, and they swim. And they feel great, they feel good. But now you take these fish and you put them in a pond that's a mile circumference. It's a mile wide. Those fish are still swim around in a little 5 feet circle. He's got all the room out here to go, but he's swimming around in this 5 foot circle. Because that's his consciousness, that's his imagination, that's his awareness, that's what he's seen his whole life. Yeah, things happen to us in childhood that keep us out of being successful in our adulthood. Yeah, I'll call them earthquakes, incidences, ideas. All they really are, I'm going to tell you what they are. They're thoughts, ideas, and suggestions that came from our family, our friends, our teachers, our peer group, our pastors, some constraint that we got out of the Bible, this, that. Hey, it's some of anything. No matter what, it boils down to your thoughts, ideas, and suggestions. And all of them in a nutshell, they're all thoughts, which are all made up, and you're not your thoughts. You're not your mind, you're not your feelings, and you're not your body. That's why I said the other day, you need to tell your thoughts what to think, your feelings how to feel, and your body how to behave. But that's okay. So this fish is going around and around. What is keeping him? He has these imaginary boundaries because he's used to this 5 foot tank. He can go a mile to this way, a mile that way, a mile this way, a mile that way. But he's swimming around in this little 5 foot circle. And these boundaries aren't even real. They don't exist. They're all made up. They're an incantation. They're a spell. This is a trance induced in childhood. And now you're still living it out. Wake up. We got to wake up, you guys, and we need to start now. Make the plan now. For when January 1st comes, you're already in it. You already set it up. You already planned it out. You already mapped it out. You wrote it out. You got your plan. You're going to stick to it, how you're not going to lose focus and how you're not going to move too slow. That gives you clarity. Even the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain upon the table that he that reads may run after it. You got to make it plain. You definitely got to make it plain for you. It may not be plain for anyone else, but it better be plain to you or you're definitely not going to make it. You're going to be like everybody else. Week 2, 2.5 in, bam, and you're out of it. People talk about all that stick-to-itiveness and this and that. No, there's no such thing as stick-to-itiveness without a plan, without sticking to the plan, without losing focus and not moving too slow. Now think about it. I talked to this about before, about a flea. You can put a flea in a jar and put the lid on it. That flea will literally go up to that lid and hit it and hit it. Once he sees that, oh, it's a lid there, he'll come right up under it. Bam, bam, he'll come right up under it. You know, you can take that lid off. You can take that lid off, go on vacation. Because you stuck to your plan, now you can go on vacation for a year, for a month. Then come back, that flea will still be in the jar. What is it? There's no lid on it. But in his awareness, in his consciousness, in his imagination, in his cells, tissues, and organs, there's a lid. Just like water is wet, rocks are hard, there's a lid on here. So what lid have you put over yourself? What's keeping you down? What lid is keeping you from exploring the ultimate, from having exactly what you want? You got to write it down. I'm not just talking for me. I'm talking for you. I'm talking for us. I'm talking for the community. Because I need the feedback from you. We all need each other to accomplish what we need. That's why I always think of that African proverb. We do. We need a village to raise each other because we're ever learning. We're always knowing. And that's what I'm here trying to just give you some insights that I've learned over the years. I mean, yeah, 32 years running after fires, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, delivering babies, saving lives, trying to save lives, going through people, dying. And, like I said, I told my wife earlier, delivering a baby one day, pronounced 5 people dead the next. You got to do something with that in your head to allow you to keep going, to allow you to stay on the job, to allow you to do what you need to do and show up to some new person's incident that may have never gone through before. Because when we get a call, something has gone awry, wickedly awry. And we're the ones that come in to save the day, if you will. We got to change it. We got to stop the tide, push it back, make sure the scene is safe, take care of them, take them to the hospital if necessary, and make things better. And you have to do that for yourself. You have to do that for your loved ones. You have to take care of your household. This is not just a pep talk, you guys. This is life. Whether you engage or not, life is happening to you. It will slap you upside the head, it will hit you in the back, or it'll grab you in your chest. You need to be able to overcome it. That was the one thing I loved on the fire department, was being able to do things I never thought I can do. To be able to lay a ladder out from one roof to the other and walk across the rungs to get to the other ladder. And I mean, way up. I mean, if you slip through the rungs, you can fall and die. Just like running up that ladder, up and over we did every day. 8-story building, you run up, if you let go and slip, you die. Yeah, we did. We always had this joke where, women say like, oh gosh, you guys are amazing. We say, oh no, man, it's not amazing. We deal with life-threatening situations on a daily basis. But we did. We said that to ourselves every day. And things that were scary to us when we started the drill tower, they were scary. It's not that they were not, but because we did them over and over and over again. Repetition is the mother of skill. We did it over and over and over again. So we're disciplined long enough, even though we're fearful, we're disciplined long enough to cultivate the habit, and habit took us all the way to what we needed to do. Now we can let go of the discipline. The habit kept us going. The habit, who wants to run into a burning building? I don't think any of you guys want to. But I ran in, and I ran with joy. I ran in with a grin on my face. I ran and jumped up and pulled myself through black smoke rolling out of a window, and I'm diving in because I love it. Yeah, I know. It's a whole different association in your nervous system. But that's how you have to do. Some things you go through, you got to say, I got to love it. That's what the Bible says. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Doesn't matter what's going on. You got to go on and push through, you guys. And everything you need is inside of you. It's already in you. Everything you need to become is in you, guys. Get that. You made it here. You made it to this year. And if you're here for 2024, and believe me, my job let me know year after year, 32 years, some people didn't make it into the next year. And they don't, because maybe they didn't have a plan to stick to it or whatever. Because most people had heart attacks. Most people had heart attacks. Most people had cancers. And maybe they didn't have a plan to say, okay, how can I be healthy? How can I create a plan for my life where I don't have to worry about a heart attack or worry about cancer? That's a plan to be healthy. See, I don't think about how not to have cancer or this or that. No, how do you stay healthy? I don't think about a healthy heart, healthy liver, healthy spleen. That's too much. No, just be healthy. Keep it simple. This is my plan. This is my number one plan. Because without my health, I can't do any of those other plans. Now, you guys may have this notion of what you came into time and space to do and why you're here on the planet and why you were born at the time you were born and not 1,000 years ago. Because God brought you into time and space for what you need to do. And he didn't have you born 1,000 years ago because that would have been too late. But you came into time and space for a reason. And you have all of these strengths, talents, abilities, and gifts that are instilled in you to do what you need to do. I mean, any of you guys know that scripture? The gifts and calling of God are without repentance. No, he's not taking them away. Now, some people take those gifts and talents and become drug dealers and be really successful as a drug dealer. And it's not, but they're still their gifts. Now, you can use your gifts for what you want to do. This is what it comes down to. Any questions, you guys? Let's see. Oh, gosh. Oh, will you do the program video? Oh, how will I do the video? It's going to be on Zoom, and even if I do it live and you don't make it, it's going to be there for you to get. So it's not like it's going to be gone. You'll get everything you need to get. You'll get the greens, the cleansers. You'll get an ebook, my ebook, Body Intelligence, and that's to work on your mind because you need to change your mind. It's all back down to your thinking. That's why I say thoughts, ideas, and suggestions. It's really just thoughts. Our whole life is just engaged through our thoughts. And you know how we are. We because of our thoughts, we can go into a particular state. And a particular state could keep us away. Now, you guys know you can be in a particular state when someone does something that upsets you. No, it really does. But you can be in another state and that exact same thing can happen to you and there's no big deal. My thing is you have to set out from the beginning and know from the beginning that no matter what happens, I'm going to get what I'm going after. That's what you do. I've seen people just sacrifice and do all kinds of other things for other people and not for themselves. The only thing you can have for other people is what overflows out of your own life. Is your cup full? You need to be full and filled and now to overflowing. Some of you guys are dissipating. The reason why you can't keep your resolution is because you're dissipating yourself for someone else. I don't care if it's your husband or wife. Yeah, I said it. And I'm married. No, you don't dissipate your life for someone else. You fill up. You fill up to overflowing and serve from that fullness. Because if you're dissipated mentally, emotionally, I'm telling you, it's going to affect your body and you'll be off the planet. That's what I'm talking about. Anyone have any questions? I know I've been going on. I'm saying, ooh, geez, I got 5 minutes left. Is this making sense to you guys? Can I get a yes from someone or whatever? I just want to know. Yeah, you got to be clear, you guys. So think about it now. Take the metaphors that I was giving you and ask yourself, is there something that's holding me back that's imaginary, like the rope around the elephant's foot, his leg? Is something, what is it that's holding me back? Because that's one way of seeing it. What is it that I'm holding on to that's keeping me back from my resolution? What boundaries, like with the fish, what boundaries have I set for myself that aren't there, that are imaginary, that are all made up? That's why I call it a spell, an incantation, an hallucination. It really is. That's why I call it a trance, because the way we think like that, the trance is out of our childhood. It's out of our childhood culture. See, it's our childhood that gave us our view and map of the world. And you guys have to reconcile that. There are things that happen in your childhood. They were just all made up. And see, right here today, you can think about your past. Remember I was telling you how the mind works? You know, the mind has really two functions, memory and imagination. Your memory replays all the imagined events, circumstances, and experiences of the past. your imagination pre-plays all the imagined events, circumstances, and experiences of the future. And that's why I always say something that bad happened in the past, it was horrible in the past, now it makes you apprehensive of the future. But neither the past or the future exist in time and space. We have this thing that's called now, which is defined as 0 to 5 seconds. This right here, this is all the time we have. Oh, okay, now this 5 seconds. Okay, wait a minute, that's gone. This 5 seconds. How are you living in this 5 seconds? How do you think in this 5 seconds? How's your health in this 5 seconds? This is all you have, this 5 seconds. And so you can plan out a plan, because there's going to be another 5 seconds and another 5 seconds until it's called tomorrow. But when it gets to tomorrow, it's still going to be called today within this 5 seconds. So you need to be clear. Is something holding you back? Are you holding on to something? Have you created these boundaries for yourself? Or did you put a lid over yourself and I said, I can't go higher. I can't escalate. I'm stuck right where I am. I'm stuck in this job. I can't do better. I remember a friend of mine was a friend of a friend, and they said, oh, you can live a better life. You know, they were living in this dinky apartment or whatever with, I think, like 4 or 5 children, and some of their children had children. And, you know, the sister was saying, you don't have to live here. You can do better than this. And you know what the lady said? She said, well, maybe this is all God wants me to have. Remember, you guys, I was telling you, remember that scripture in Proverbs 23:7, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. You always act like the person you think you are. You are literally never other than yourself. You never act outside of your character. We are all, even me, we are all held hostage to our belief system. And you always act like the person you think God is. So if a person thinks this is the best that God has for them, that's the thing that's holding them back. The thought that this is how God thinks about them is the elephant with the rope around his foot. And what are you holding on to? You're holding on to some ideas, some thoughts, some suggestion, and it's keeping you from moving. Oh, I need to do this. This is what I have to do. I can't do anything else. Well, what you say is what you get. You literally language your life into existence. And what you language is what you think. What you think repeatedly, you language it repeatedly, you feel repeatedly, and you behave repeatedly. That's why I say you have to become someone else. But now, like I said, the boundaries that you set, and I'm telling you guys, by and large, they all come out of childhood. But what you have to understand tonight is that they're all made up. Those boundaries are not there. And then the lid that you put on yourself. Can you guys see that? Can you see that they're all made up? They're holding you back. They're holding on to something. They're creating these boundaries, to creating this lid. I mean, there's all kinds of metaphors that you can use, but I'm telling you, this has been my experience, and it's been a pleasure to talk to you guys now. I know it's, I got 1 minute. Any questions at all? Tomorrow night is going to be my last night until the new year. If you guys want to sign up for the Total Body Reset, it's under Total Body Reset Now, N-O-W, TotalBodyResetNow.com. You can go on and get on there. And tomorrow night, I'm going to talk about something else. I'm going to see. I just thought, because we're getting so close. And the thing is, when the weekend comes, when Friday comes, it's kind of, we go into this slippery slope, you know, and that's why I said most people live their lives trying to, you know, spend themselves during the week and buy themselves back on the weekend. And a lot of you may have a goal to retire. Say, okay, I want to retire in 2024. In which most people spend their lives an entire career in hopes of buying themselves back on the weekend, or back in retirement, I'm sorry. And again, think of that ideology, think of that thought. Spend yourself an entire career so that you can start living in retirement. Or even right here, spending yourself an entire week so you can say TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and you live your life on Friday, try to buy it back, and then spend it again next week. You're going to spend 5 days of your life, your time and your energy. Remember, your time is your life is your energy. When your time runs out, your life runs out. And so, you know, just dissipating your life. It's just going out. Just like out of a bank account. You spending time that you don't even have to become the person you want to become, so you can do what you need to do to have what you need to have. All right, you guys, that's it. I hope you guys are well. Well, you know what? I want to be healthier than ever. I told myself for my resolution, just so you'll know, I'm going to enjoy my life with my wife. She's my heart. But physically, I know I'm going to be in the best shape that I've ever been in my life. And at that time is when I was 23 on the fire department. But you know what? What did I tell you? Muscle knows no age. So I can get there. My heart and lungs can get all I need to get. So I'm creating a plan. I'm going to stick to the plan. I'm not going to lose focus, and I'm not going to move too slow. So if you want to join me on that and use a total body reset, because when you get your body under, and I know it seems different, but when you get your body under and put your body under something, it regulates your mind and nervous system. It makes everything else easier to do. I can tell you, going through the drill tower is the hardest thing I've ever done. Running to a burning building, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, climbing up an 8-story building. I mean, it's no joke. I know you guys see it on TV and Backdraft and all these other things. It looks all glorious. It's tough as all get out. But at the end of the day, I did it. And that's why I want to get that whole energy and feeling. I want that to signal my body and hormones that I am fit for survival, just like I was back in the drill tower. Anyway, love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, 6 o'clock. All right. You guys take care. Get your questions ready for tomorrow if you can. All right. Ciao. Let's see. Okay. Yes, that's it. Uh-oh. Here we go. Bam.